right now. The league is as deep as it's ever been. Some would argue that would make championships won right now way even heavier than championships won in an earlier era, if you were ever going to do a player comparative discussion. But we don't have to get into that. Show the pyramid. Here are the 36 best players in the league. We know who's at the top, LeBron James. Tier 2, the guy who's going to win league MVP, Luka Doncic, and the guy who last time we saw him play was the second best player in the league, Kevin Durant. Tier 3, you've got a guy who one day will win an MVP in Anthony Davis, and then two guys who've won MVPs in Giannis and James Harden. Tier 4, these are the rest of your top 10. The hardest omission of that top 10 was the first guy on Tier 5, Joel Embiid. You have Murray and Mitchell, who had unbelievable bubbles, along, of course, with Jimmy Butler, an unbelievable bubble. And CP3, folks, going into last year, he was further down the pyramid. Got himself back up, finishing in the top 5 MVP voting. And then you've got really, really good second options for teams on tier number, what is that? Tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you've got, again, think about how deep the league is right now. When guys like Bam and Kyrie and Devin Booker and Bradley Beal aren't even top 20 players, and then you round out your top 36. Trae Young is not a top 30 player, and he averaged 30 points per game. That is your NBA player pyramid, Broussard, going into this season. We haven't had games yet, so we don't need to adjust anything. The producers said they want to do a whole segment on this, but I don't know how much time we can spend on Broussard and Wild saying, that's perfect. It's like it was just inceptioned into our brains. So go ahead, Broussard, but I assume yours would look the exact same.
Well, I was told I can only switch one guy. One guy moves up or down, which is a problem because a lot of this pyramid needs to change. Now, here's the guy. Switch Kawhi Leonard and Luka Doncic. The disrespect for Kawhi Leonard is outlandish, Nick Wright. This is a guy that's got 2 championships, that led a team to a title, that plays both ends of the floor, and you're putting Luka Doncic ahead of him now. I got Luka. I said earlier in the show, Luka will win the MVP. That's my prediction. So you may be saying, well, how do you move him down? The best player in the world doesn't necessarily win MVP. Steve Nash won 2 in a row, and he was never the best player in the league, maybe not even top 5. Dirk Nowitzki won MVP, was never viewed as the best player in the world. Shaq only won 1, and he was the best player for several years. So that is not the issue. Kawhi Leonard plays both ends of the floor. Luka Doncic has not yet won a playoff series. Not yet won a playoff series, and Kawhi's won 2 titles. And you're disrespecting him like this? Show a little objectivity, Nick Wright. My goodness.
Okay. This is, even by Chris Broussard and his love of the Clippers standards, this is a bridge too far. I mean, if we're just going to say it's reputational, and it's guys who are 2-time champions who play both ends of the court, then I guess I need Hakeem Olajuwon higher up here as well. But unfortunately for Hakeem and for Kawhi, it's based on this season. I'm old enough to remember the playoffs last year, where you're right. Luka's team did lose to Kawhi's team, even though Luka thoroughly and completely outplayed Kawhi Leonard in that series, averaging, a humble 31, 10, and 9, and the game-winning shot in, what was that, Game 4 of the series, right in Kawhi's, no. It wasn't in Kawhi's eye, because the best defender in basketball wouldn't guard Luka the whole series. And then Kawhi, in the next round, got a 3-1 lead, and what did he do? This is what he did. Just melted down. It's like, oh, no, too much pressure. Oh, no, we're up 17. Oh, I'm 1 for 11 in the second half of a Game 7. Everyone's making fun of Way Off P because he's hitting the side of the backboard. Meanwhile, I'm not even taking the shots. No. Get me, somebody call in Reggie Jackson. Where's Marcus Morris? Lou Williams, come save me. What, Broussard?
At least Kawhi has gotten to the level where there's expectations and pressure on him. Your guy, Luka, isn't even at that level yet. Anything Luka did was gravy because nobody expects anything. And you got him as the second, third best player in the world. I love Luka.
I do.
He is awesome. Like I said, he might average a triple-double this year. But to put him right now ahead of Kawhi Leonard, ahead of Giannis, ahead of Anthony Davis, that is blasphemy.
Okay, if you wanted to argue that Giannis or Anthony Davis should be replacing Luka, I wouldn't be so apoplectic. But you've got Kawhi not only replacing Luka, but jumping ahead of Giannis and Anthony Davis. Get the hell out of here. We just saw it. Last year happened. We can't pretend. I know it was the worst moment of your sports life, watching the Clippers melt down, your lifelong team. But you can't pretend it didn't happen. I know you want to forget it, but we can't forget it for the sake of this analysis.
You think just because you throw out $10 words like apoplectic that you're going to win this argument? You're just what you said. That argument, you can't have it both ways, Nick, right? What did we see Giannis doing last year in the playoffs? And even the year before in the playoffs when Kawhi shut him down and outplayed him. Yet you've got him above Kawhi. Anthony Davis had 9-point games, 5 rebound games in the playoffs. But you got him ahead of Kawhi Leonard. My goodness, show Kawhi some respect.
I did. Wild, just so you know, here's the respect I showed Kawhi. I really, really considered flipping him and Embiid and having Kawhi outside of the top 10. But out of respect to what he accomplished previously, I left him there.
It's too much.
Go ahead, Wild.
Go ahead, Wild.
Okay. I have one issue. Can we put up the whole pyramid, please? So I can look, because my guy is so far down on the pyramid, it's outrageous. Especially because when you're talking about pyramids and triangles, that's like his thing. You can't have Kyrie that low on any pyramid, because it's something about, the angles of the pyramid is really offensive to him. So here are 3 reasons why Kyrie should be moved up multiple tiers, multiple levels. Reason number 1, the guy's healthy and rested. Not only is he posting Instagrams that's saying he's eating, quote, clean, high vibrational fruit, he's also played 20 games in the last 19 months. So we've seen this guy. We know when he's healthy, he can be great. Reason number 2, he's better with legends. The higher Kevin Durant is, the better Kyrie will play. So if you got Kevin Durant on your second tier, Kyrie's right there. There shouldn't be that big of a gulf between those guys, because Durant's success is Kyrie's success. Reason number 3, with all due respect to Dave Cowens and who else was it? Bill DeBusschere, I think. Best player coach since Bill Russell. Best player coach, Nick. So the fact that he's got those duties as well, I think Kyrie needs to be moved up for his coaching and playing ability.
Okay.
Dave DeBusschere.
Come on, he needs to be ahead of Ben Simmons. He needs to be ahead of Ben Simmons. Come on.
Be ahead of Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons was All-NBA last year. I'm going to try to respect the Kyrie conversation the way he would want to. So let me try to cleanse the air. Let me try to get the right auras so I can be fair to Kyrie. I don't want to be unfair here, and I want to make sure I'm in the right mind space to give a fair analysis of Kyrie. Chakra's good. I think the planets are nice and aligned. Thank you so much. So now we can talk about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving has never contributed to an ounce of winning when he was not alongside LeBron James. That's just a fact. And in fact, when he was, you can say, well, in Cleveland, before LeBron got there, those teams were terrible. No problem. But in Boston, they weren't. And they were better every year by every metric as far as wins when he didn't play. He then got to Brooklyn, and that team, sure as hell to me, looked pretty interesting in the bubble. Looked like they liked each other in the bubble. That team looked like they had some fight, even though they were basically the G League Nets. So if we show the pyramid, it's going to be hard-pressed for you to find the guy I should move Kyrie up for. Now, do I think he is a transcendent scorer? Do I think he's arguably the best ball handler in the history of the league? I do. Do I think he contributes to winning? I don't. Do I think alongside Durant he can be dynamic? Sure. And yeah, absolutely. No, he hit one of the biggest shots ever. No one's questioning the talent. No one's questioning the talent. Just tell me who you want me to move down. Tell me who you want me to move down.
Ben Simmons.
If you want to argue,
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons could have won Defensive Player of the Year last year. Yeah. So flip him?
Coulda. You just said a guy, flip them, number one. You just said a guy that hit either the biggest or second biggest shot in NBA history. Yes. The guy that delivered the championship to Cleveland in 2016 doesn't contribute to winning? No, that doesn't even make sense.
What I think I said...
Because if he didn't contribute that 25-footer, Cleveland wouldn't have...